Now, I don't often use the word underrated. Overrated, sure, there are plenty of overrated garbage out in the market today. But underrated? The hidden gems, honestly, those are truly a rarity in this hobby. Oftentimes, the truly good stuff, but not very popular, are quickly found out and then blasted throughout the community. So today, let me talk about an IEM that seemingly is not talked about by anyone else at all. An IEM that I feel is one of, if not the best IEM at under 50 US dollars. What am I talking about? Well, the 7Hz G1. Let's jump into it. 7Hz is a bit upsy-downsy, topsy-turvy in terms of the consistency of their products. They can make a great banger followed by absolute garbage, followed by great banger once again. So it wouldn't surprise me that some of you probably wouldn't even know that 7Hz has released this IEM, the G1, a single DD IEM coming in at 35 US dollar MSRP. I think the biggest issue with this IEM is really with the way that it's being marketed. 7Hz and by extension Linsel is currently calling this IEM a gaming IEM, marketing it as such. Perfect for when you're playing your FPSs, your TPSs, and your racing games, I guess. Effectively, sort of alienating its true audience, which is us audiophiles. I think most of us wouldn't have considered buying this IEM because of its gamer tag. But before we get into all of that, let's just talk about all the non-audio stuff. And yes, at 35 US dollars, don't expect too much out of the G1's unboxing experience. You're not gonna get too much. You get your IEMs, your tips, and then weirdly enough, a silicone case, not canvas, not leather, silicone. That's a new one. The G1 only comes in 2 SKUs, with mic or without a microphone, and only in a 3.5 single-ended connection. But the good thing about the G1 is that even at its 35 USD price tag, you're going to get a very premium feeling, full metal anodized aluminum build. This is probably one of the most premium feeling IEMs I've ever handled at under 50 US dollars, and even double or even triple that price tag. The usual caveats about metal shells still apply. It's going to get very cold in a cold climate, but you know, that's up to you. The shell shape and comfort, on the other hand, well, I'm not going to call it uncomfortable, but it's also not the comfiest IEM I've ever had the pleasure of wearing. This is a shell shape that's reminiscent of many older TRN models. I'm not sure if that's a coincidence, but that extra jut at the bottom of the concha bowl is just slightly off-putting for my ears. In general, I think that it's fine, but if you're someone who is looking for something smaller but still want to retain that durability, I can still wholeheartedly recommend the Moondrop Chew 2. But now let's jump into the sound, and my god, this is probably one of the biggest surprises that I've had in 2024. I first heard it in 2024, but this year is where we officially sell it at the Hangout. This is one of, if not the best execution of a V-shaped sound signature that I've heard in an IEM in recent times. The G1 attempts to hit Harman, even 7Hz said as much, but it goes for a much harder V-shape in my opinion. And to my ears, it all works out because this deeper V-shape doesn't sound as thin as your traditional Harman IEM. The bass is emphasized, maybe a bit too much, if not for the fact that the treble is also very tastefully boosted as well. At this point, you're probably familiar with my taste in V-shapes. I don't mind a very emphasized bass and treble, but it also has to be balanced out by a reasonably natural mid-range. And what do you know? The G1 executes all of this beautifully. You get the impact, the punch, the rumble from the emphasized bass. You get that sharpness, that brilliance, the clarity of that treble, but at the same time, the mids still sound fairly correct. And this is praise that I would levy on many IEMs much more expensive, $200, $300, $400, but remember, this is an IEM coming in at 35 US dollars retail. This is an absolute steal. But I guess at this point, since the word gaming is used in its marketing, let's just briefly talk about it. But at the same time, don't look for me for gaming advice. I am currently a casual player. Just like how your typical Harman tuned IEM can be fairly pleasant to play with in a gaming environment, the G1 also provides a similar vibe owing to its enhanced bass and treble. Yes, you get that extra bass, better explosions, bigger impacts, as well as the treble enhancing the very annoying gunshot sounds, for example. So if you're asking little old me, whose only recent gaming experience would be Marvel Rivals Quick Play, then well, yes, I really like the G1, but at the same time, if you're looking for someone with more competitive advice, I'm just going to say up front, it's not me. Now let's just talk about the shoulds and the shouldn'ts. Why you should consider buying a G1 and why you shouldn't. Let's start with why you should. Consider getting the G1 if you're someone looking for that deep V-shaped response. Extra punchy, extra rumbly bass, but at the same time paired with that extra brilliance and sharpness in the treble. It's one of the better executed V-shaped responses I've heard in recent times, and that's not even considering its absolutely low price of $35 US. And second would be on its absolutely beautiful build quality, and anodized aluminum build makes it feel a lot more premium than its price tag would suggest. And that brings me to my third point, the price tag, $35 USD for a complete package that comes with an amazing build quality as well as stunning sound and absolute steel. And now for the reasons why you shouldn't get a G1. Obviously, if you're someone who's not looking for that V-shaped signature, if you're looking for one that is more neutral, you can always look for something like the original Soundnote Zero, for example. And on a lesser note, if you're someone who's looking for an IEM with a 4.4 balanced connection, because the 7Hz G1 only comes in a 3.5mm single-ended, but at the same time, at under $50 US, you're probably not gonna get a balanced IEM. And there we have it, the 7Hz G1, an absolutely underrated gem of an IEM that I hope gains traction in the coming times. But hey, don't have to take my word for it. You can always come down and try it out at the Hangout. We're located at 200 South Bridge Road in Chinatown. Come on down, grab a cup of coffee or even ice cream, and then ask for the 7Hz G1. Demo it, listen to it, and then form your own opinions. And for those of you not fortunate enough to be in Singapore, well, you can always go down to hangout.audio, our online retail store. We ship globally and for free for orders over $30. This is Chronicle for Hangout.audio, and remember kids, if it's not on the list, it doesn't exist. See you next week.